I figured out why everybody makes resolutions this time of year. I have this theory, and it's not a theory, it's like an observation. We'll say that when we're in the day-to-day grind of work and our kids' activities and cooking dinner and cleaning our house and doing laundry, like the Monday to Friday, call it the grind. You're not thinking about your hopes and your dreams. You're just like, gotta do this. And you go from the next thing to the next thing. Well, whenever I have a weekend off and I get some time, whether it's with the kids, we're doing an activity or I'm just driving somewhere, that's when you think like, I should really work out more. I need to make more time to work out. And you try and figure out how you're going to do that. Or we need to incorporate more bone broth into our lives. So maybe I make a pot on Sunday and I'll have the time to think about it. So the reason when you have a week off or 2 weeks off over the holiday that you make resolutions is because you're just thinking about the best version of yourself, the things you want to do, your hopes and dreams. Well, my friend calls her acorn, your inner desires. Yeah. So then we think, okay, well, when those holidays over, I'm going to be hitting the gym 5 days a week, making all the bone broth and eating healthy food and do my handstands. Those are just all my things, but you get it. But there's a bigger point to this. This is where my tinfoil hat comes on. And I know everybody loves a good Sheila conspiracy. But don't you think, what would we be doing? How great and wonderful we would be if we had more time to think. And I'm not saying I'm not a capitalist. We shouldn't work. I am. But what if we didn't have to work as much and we could think? And depending on your job, maybe you have more mental space to think about the things that are important to you and how you want to be. And you can dream about your healthy dinners and prepare those when you get home from work. But depending on your job, my job is stressful. It's not the most stressful. I know people have way more stressful jobs, but my job is stressful on the scale of Sheila stressful. I find it very stressful. I have a lot of priorities. And when I go to work, I am in it. And when I am done work, I am fried. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And that steals the joy I have to play with my kids after work. I'm not as fun at all. I might do a nice bedtime, but I'm not really winning any awards in parenting, and I'm not out planting and weeding the garden and dreaming about what seeds I'm going to order, and I'm not getting creative in the kitchen. I'm just what meal can I crank out that's easiest? So I do think that there is part of our work that robs our creativity and energy.